everyone, welcome back to Ask Nutritionist Deepa's quick, easy, flavorful recipe videos. And today I'm going to show you how to get back to your cooking and meal planning game after your vacation. In my case, I went out of country for 10 to 12 days, and the long flights and everything can be tiring once you come back. And that's when recipes like these are going to come in handy. So what I have today is capsicum or bell pepper onion masala recipe. The ingredients are simple. First of all, because I knew my trip was going to be long and tedious, I had frozen some bell peppers and some tomatoes right before I went on my trip. I had some onions, not frozen, just picked them up my pantry because onions stay well in the pantry for a couple of weeks. So I have some big diced chopped onions. Then I have some small garam masala, cumin seed powder, coriander powder. Kasuri methi is a type of fenugreek leaves widely used in Indian cuisine, and a spoonful of chickpea flour. So the recipe again is going to be very simple. One ingredient that I don't have it here, but I intend to add it, is some ginger garlic paste. And again, my ginger garlic cubes are ready. So really it's all about just putting all the flavors together. Now, unlike my other recipes where I usually just use one pot and cook everything in one step or two steps, this is going to be a two-step recipe because I first need to chop these frozen vegetables. And the trick to make sure that your curry is not all mushy and the vegetables are just not melting in there is to make sure that you are not defrosting your peppers or your vegetables. Now, I could easily make this curry using cauliflower and potatoes or green beans. Really, any hearty vegetable will do it. But again, the trick is to make sure that your vegetables are frozen and they are not defrosted. It's going to be a little tricky to chop them, but believe me, that's how you want it. And while I'm chopping, I'm going to warm up the skillet and start stir frying these veggies. Now, another ingredient I forgot to mention is some yogurt, plant-based yogurt, or if you don't have yogurt, then a pumpkin seed puree or cashew cream will do it. Now, as I mentioned, the trick here is to make sure that you are not defrosting the peppers or any frozen vegetable for that matter, because if you defrost it, it's going to release a lot of water and going to make the whole thing very mushy. Like I said, it's very still solid frozen. Now, the peppers that you are not going to use, you can put them back in the freezer, but I'm going to use quite a bit of it because remember, it's all about making things in batches. And I have chopped the peppers in large pieces again to maintain its identity in the curry. In goes some onions. I had put my onions in the basement because it's summer here and just didn't want them to go rotten. But if your pantry is in a cool space, then onion and potatoes can stay for a couple of weeks. And we are going to stir fry this on a high flame. Now, I mentioned that this is going to be a two-step process because I'm going to first stir fry these vegetables, remove them, and then make the masala for the gravy in this skillet. And the reason for that is the frozen vegetables, you don't want to cook them directly in the masala or in the gravy because they were frozen. They are going to release quite a bit of moisture and the gravy can get very diluted. The goal here is to make sure that you allow this moisture to evaporate, and hence you cook this on a very high flame. By the way, it looks really beautiful. I think just using the frozen vegetable has made these veggie pieces even more shiny and bright looking. When you are stir frying these veggies, make sure you are spreading them out so that all the moisture is being evaporated and the vegetables are not becoming lumpy. You still want a bit of a crunch left in them. You can stop stir frying these veggies when you see all the moisture is gone and this brown, you see the caramelization from the natural sugars that are present in these peppers or all the veggies, and this is what is going to bring lot of flavor. So this is done. I'm going to remove it in a plate, rinse the trimmings from the skillet and use it in the gravy. When you are removing it from the skillet, you want to make sure that these veggies are still spread out and they are not piling on each other, because you don't want the moisture from the steam to collect and get these veggies soggy. Oh, just the smell of this caramelized vegetable is so tempting. The kitchen is already smelling wonderful. I do miss cooking when I travel, I must say. Just getting all the juice ready to put it back in the curry. So the skillet is back on the stove, and let's start making the gravy. You can pop mustard seeds if you want. I'm just going to skip that step. It's really not needed. Going to start by sauteing finely diced onions and the ginger garlic paste. You can also add my tomatoes in there. Now, if you have the onion tomato gravy cubes that I have showed it to you guys in the past, this is when they are going to come in extremely handy, and this curry can get done in literally less than 10 minutes or so. But I had to use these onion and tomatoes that were in my refrigerator before I left for my trip, hence I'm using the fresh ones. Now, while these onion and tomatoes are being sauteed, we are going to start layering our recipe with some really nice easy spices. Let's start with some coriander powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin seed powder, half a teaspoon or so of garam masala, red cayenne pepper, and red Kashmiri chili powder or California chili powder just for color. If you don't want it spicy, then just use the red pepper for color and don't use the cayenne. And in the end, we are going to add a couple pinches of kasuri methi. These are these tender fenugreek leaves which add another dimension of flavor to the curry, and really mix it in with this chickpea onion tomato mix. It's all going to come together and form the base of this curry. So this capsicum, bell pepper, onion masala gravy is been simmered for at least 3 to 4 minutes, and now you can see it is extremely creamy and all the spices have come together and the flavor is just phenomenal. And really that's all to this. After this you can garnish it with lemon, raw onions, more cilantro, but the basic gravy curry is done. You can enjoy it with any kind of bread. It is tangy. I just tried it. It's tangy, it's spicy, slightly sweeter from the bell pepper. Just has the perfect mix of creaminess and spiciness, tanginess, saltiness, sweetness. Can't get better than this. I'm going to have it with some rice and some potatoes and salad on the side. You can also garnish it with some whipped plant-based yogurt on top, or just drizzle some cashew cream if you want to go a little fancy. But that's all to it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.